Welcome back, everybody. We are about to hop into our first adventure of the evening, as I mentioned before, one called A Day in the Unlife, subtitle Big Larry's Burgers. But before we hop into it, we are going to just take a brief moment and introduce all of our brave adventurers here today. Without further ado, the first up that we have is returning recently from a fabled kind of exploration where you battled the Rhyme Slime. I believe you've had one fabled since then. But we have Anadoltia.
Yes, hello.
Anadoltia, how are you today?
I'm kind of tired, actually.
I'm tired. Why is that?
Well, do y'all remember last week when I mentioned I had, or not last week, but last time I had to write out or reply a bunch of letters that were sent to me about Confectia?
Yes.
Well, Confectia contacted me and said I needed to help her with some recruits.
Oh,
I
really?
I didn't know what that meant at the time, but when she invited me to the Feywild to her kingdom, I discovered that there was a bunch of warlocks like myself that were wanting to take her in as a wanting her to take them as her patron.
Oh, really? So Confectia is sort of expanding in a lot of ways.
Yes. So some of those among them were kind of just there for more fame and not for the actual purpose of the patron.
I'm sure there was also several people there that were just there for the candy too, the free candy.
Well, yes, indeed, especially.
Mm.
Of course, there was also one other person who was not there as a warlock, but was pretty much there as punishment for going up to Confection demanding that she make her own patron.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
it sounds a little bit forceful, but I'm sure that you and Confectia will get everything sorted out.
Well, we did get sorted out since I happen to know who that was.
um, well, perhaps we'll see them someday amongst the roster of Bartholomew's adventurers. But for now, Anadoltia, I bid you welcome.
Thank you.
Next up, we have another returning adventurer. We have the Kleptomaniac, Holly. Holly, how are you today?
Wonderful, thank you.
Now, Holly, what have you been stealing lately? Anything new? Any recent acquisitions?
Not very much. I went to jail. That's a thing. I have I have a lot of confetti. That I just picked that up off the ground. I went. Oh, jail. That's right. We should talk about that.
Yeah, the jail. I was very interested in.
I thought you'd be interested in confetti. What's wrong with you?
I mean, I'm not going to say that I'm not also interested in the confetti, but the jail just seems more pressing. Whatever you want to talk about, Holly, though. Jail or confetti, it's up to you.
Let's talk about jail. Come on.
Okay, please.
I was caught stealing. I tried to steal another eye of the same old man. I didn't go out so well. It was very guarded, so I went to jail. In jail, they left me with my spellbook, which was very much of a bad idea.
Maybe they didn't realize that you were kind of an accomplished caster.
I have lots of spells. Not stolen. I didn't steal any. I haven't stolen any. But no. I just did my signature move, rope trick.
Well, yeah, I imagine that you could have rope tripped in the cell, and then they would just think that you had already escaped and leave the door open.
Yeah, just like that. Guards are kind of dumb.
Consistently, I think the guard in score is maybe like an 8 or something, but that's neither here nor there. Holly, it is good to have you.
Thank you.
Yeah, next up, we have returning the Moonborn, Elysia Silverblood. Welcome, Elysia.
Hi, Pete.
Always very cheerful, Elysia. You kind of carry the levity. Would you describe the moon as a cheerful patron? Is Elysia cheerful?
I'm as cheerful as I can be. Mm-hmm. At least I try to be.
I'm sorry, I meant to say Selune, but I just said your name again. It's become so synonymous with Selune, the name of Elysia, that I almost have difficulty separating the two. As much of a blasphemy as that may be, I apologize.
Of course, I accept your repentance on that. Don't worry, I'm sure Salune will also.
Mm,
But I hope to embody as much of my lady as I can in my own walk.
mm, mm. So, Elysia, tell me what is new? What have you been doing with your new kind of fabled adventurer fame?
Hmm. Well, me and Father had to go through. We had a few issues with those bunny folk we rescued. They seem
Oh
to be
yes.
causing a bit of trouble, so we've been going through and ensuring that they're well educated of the proper, behavior of those of the cloth now.
Hmm. Are they taking to the new kind of religion well? Are they accepting Salune, or are they still a little bit kind of fixated on that cookie monster they were worshipping?
Some seem to be coming around a little bit better, though there have been a few still causing quite a bit of trouble. Father's taken them to sequestered off, dealing with them personally.
I have no doubt, given time, that they will see the literal and proverbial light.
I hope so.
Mm. Well, Elysia, it's good to have you back once more. I look forward to adventuring with you again this evening.
Thank you, Pete.
Of course. And last but not least, we have Sword Coheir. Sword, how are you?
Tired.
Tired as well. And what's the reason for your kind of being a little bit worn down today, Sword?
I was stuck in Central City for a Cleric's convention and
Really?
found out the hard way that it was a tourist trap.
Oh, what were they trying to like? What were they trying to rope you in with?
Well, you had parking fees, there was no in rooms
Mhm.
or anything like that, and it cost an absorbent fee just to stay at one.
Did you get the chance to at least meet any other sort of fellow clerics? Get
A
the chance to
few,
socialize?
thankfully, the convention itself was fine, but I
What about
wish
the
I had
city
more
itself?
opportunity. I just wish I had more opportunity to spend time there at the convention than I did looking for house and board.
Hmm. Well, perhaps that is why Bartholomew has called you here today, is your adventure will take you very near Central City. Um, as you are kind of leaving behind some of the bustle of the city, Sword, you are just kind of bid through telepathy to travel a bit farther south, specifically to South Town, which, for anyone unaware, is a town that is located south of Central City. The logic should track there. But one of the most notable features of South Town is that there is a large population of undead there. Not undead in the sense that you would normally expect them, kind of vicious, mindless, sort of zombies and skeletons that attack adventurers at a whim or just any passerby, but sentient, thinking undead that live and have lives. Mostly they spend their time in the graveyard, but as each of you arrive in Southtown, you can see various of these creatures just kind of walking around the space. Some of them, shopping intermingled with the living. Um, it is always raining a little bit in Southtown, and today is no exception as you all arrive. The reason that you've been sent here was specifically to investigate a new restaurant that has sprung up in the region. A restaurant by the name of Big Larry's Burgers. It came up a couple weeks ago, according to Bartholomew. That's what he told you about it. And there's been several sort of complaints from various people around the city, just that some of the other restaurants have noticed that they're building up a customer base extremely fast. Um, there are people that are kind of fervently loyal to this place in only the 2 weeks since it's opened, and it's just pulling massive crowds. And a lot of people find it suspicious, especially with some of the odd things that tend to happen in Southtown. You've been hired by the town itself to investigate this restaurant and make sure that everything is on the up and up. And of course, if it turns out it is not, to put a stop to whatever it is that is going on. But it's also possible that it's just a very good restaurant. Either way, that is what you've been hired to do. You all now arrive. Our adventure begins with the kind of four of you just standing outside of the restaurant. It is a very simple wooden building. A hand-painted sign on the top of it that was done fairly unprofessionally. It looks like it was just done by, probably, presumably, Big Larry. And the sign is just kind of red lettering Big Larry's Burgers. out the front door of the place, you can see a line of maybe like 10 or 15 people that are unable to even kind of fit into the building because they're all just lined up waiting to buy burgers. That's where the four of you start. What would you all like to do?
First, I'm pretty much looking around, see if I can actually note any other buildings in the area, like maybe Billy Bonka's Candy Guild.
Is Billy Bonka's Candy Guild located within Southtown?
I believe so. I mean, that's what this little card said when he gave it to me.
Yeah, go ahead and make an investigation check. Yeah, looking around, you don't see it. It's possible that you're just in the wrong part of Southtown. There's just not a... this is a little bit of a rundown section. You imagine his would be in a little bit more of a flashy kind of corner of Southtown. Not that there are a lot of flashy corners in Southtown.
Ah, okay.
Did we have a point of contact for this job?
You did not. Your mission was to simply investigate the restaurant on your own.
Oh, we could pull the fake health inspector and go in there. We need a good health inspector, a bad health inspector, a damsel in distress, and a retiring cop. That's the setup for it, right?
I call being the damsel in distress.
Instead of doing that, I do have an idea now. I'm pretty sure I might be able to get in just kind of sneaking through. I mean, because of my size.
And as you guys are out kind of on the street, kind of conversing and discussing this in front of the place, you watch as a traveler walks by. You see kind of a human man walk past you. Hello. Are you in line?
Yes.
Okay, well, make sure you stand right up near the end. I can't tell. I just want to make sure I know my place. And he gestures over to the kind of line leaning out the door.
Is it possible to like look at this man and see if there's anything, I guess, quirky about this human?
Yeah, go ahead and make me an insight check.
That's one of my bad ones, but I'll try.
Looks a bit out of breath. It's raining, and I mean, he's not well shaven. Just maybe a little bit tired. It's the vibe you get off of him.
What a weird thing to ask about. Can I ask why you want to be in line so badly?
I want to buy some burgers.
What about them makes them so great that you would ask us if we were in line?
Oh, well, because you're standing very near the line, and I didn't want to cut you.
Okay, you're very kind.
If you guys are just going to stand here, I'm going to just move on ahead, okay?
Well, sir, before you leave, and Elysia will kind of reach in her bag, pull out a little notebook of paper, flash it very quickly, put it right back in. Joanna Hicks with the health code. We've had a few reports and just wanted to check in. You haven't happened to notice anything strange about this shop, have you?
Yeah, their burgers are great. I guess that's not strange, it's just how I feel about it. I mean, no, it seems they just run a great restaurant.
That's fantastic. It'd be a shame for a place with such great burgers to really close down. Tell me, what kind of burgers do they have?
Don't even joke about that. And at this point, he's now kind of just stepped over to the back of the line. And two other people have walked up since then and have also kind of asked you, are you guys in line? Yeah, excuse me, are you standing in line, or are you, what's your kind of situation? He continues to respond to your question. You asked him what he would recommend, right?
Just sort of a rundown of their menu. Any recommendations?
I mean, it's all great. I personally, I'm probably going to get a couple of TBLs and maybe a meat pile.
TDL.
Oh, that's a triple Big Larry. A triple Big Larry burger. That's just the slang. Us Big Larryites. That's just what we call it. And a meat pile also. That's their burger salad. But yeah, it's really good. Excuse me.
And she'll probably just get in line, like, as small as she is, and probably just maybe kind of like move through them if she could without them noticing.
Yeah, go ahead and make me a. You're trying to like cut ahead in line of people.
Kind of like using that little feature for like my size.
Okay, yeah. Well, I mean, that would be the kind of thing that enables you to make this check as your size. So go ahead and make me. It also won't give you bonuses, but it'll allow you to at least attempt this. Go ahead and make me a stealth check.
All right, one moment.
12. Your progress is pretty slow on the whole, because you have to kind of wait for moments where you can just kind of like sneak around people's feet, and then, given time, you're able to kind of wait in the line, and then they'll look down and notice you and just be like, oh, well, I didn't notice this person in front of me. So you're moving kind of slowly up ahead in just, gradual steps. Everyone else is still kind of hanging at the back of the line. Is that what your plan is? You're just going to kind of wait in line until all of you can get up to the counter? I guess Anadoltia will arrive a bit ahead of everyone else. Or does anyone else have anything else they want to do while you're waiting?
I think I'm going to walk around the building and see if I can't find any other clues.
Okay. In that case, Sword, you kind of separate off a little bit. What about Elysia and Holy?
Elysia will continue her questioning. Oh, that meat pile sounds quite interesting. Do they have any other items here? Fries, drinks, shakes, onion rings, any of the other typical foods?
Yeah, I don't waste my time with the fries. You're talking about the fried potatoes, right?
Ah, yes.
Yeah, they have the fried potato circles. I never see anyone get them. I got them my first time, didn't like them. Mostly just like the burgers. You ever had you've never been here before. The Omega Larry. The Omega Larry is a really good one. I don't have enough coin for that one, but if I did, that's what I'd be getting. Yeah.
Oh, what's the Omega Larry like?
Well, instead of the bread, what they do is they fry a couple of patties and put them on the tops of it as bread. Other than that, it's like a triple Big Larry burger. But instead of the bread, it's just a couple of extra patties.
Now that sounds like quite the sandwich. Oh, you've been quite helpful. You know what? Here's a few extra silver to up you to that Omega.
Wow, thank you. He takes the silver, and the line kind of slowly progresses forward. And Holly, what did you say you were doing?
Stealing things.
You're just taking people's money as they're like waiting in line?
Yes.
All right. I mean, you can definitely try and pickpocket like the people that are immediately around you, but it's going to be a little bit harder if you're just going to like walk up and down the line, like reaching into people's pockets, as people are very kind of jumpy about the idea of being cut in line. But go ahead and make me a sleight of hand check and tell me which one of those two things you want to do.
That's suddenly a 17.
Wait, what?
Because I ported it.
Okay.
What a waste of a port.
I mean, fair enough. Fair enough. You reach into the pocket of the individual next to you, and you pull out some money. This is the person that got in line, like right behind you guys. Was a fairly young-looking human woman. You reach into her into her pocket and pull out a pretty large amount of coins. You got about 2 gold pieces, 3 silver, and 5 copper.
I'll use this later.
Yeah, she is certainly none the wiser. So, Anadoltia, you are the first, as the line slowly kind of moves onward, you are the first to be able to kind of get into the building. And so you first have the sight of the interior space. You're the first one to see this. And what you see within this space is, well, there's a lot of people just kind of sitting around eating, but there is... only the people in line seem to be talking. All of the people that are actually eating are very engaged in what they're doing. And it's a lot. As you're looking around, it's just all of these people with these huge stacks of meat, and they're just absolutely chowing down. You're watching as they're like throwing kind of caution to the wind, meat's like flying in the space. All of these people are just really putting back food. They seem very engaged in what they're doing. There's pretty much all humans. You see a couple dwarves, you see an elf, and yeah, pretty much everyone in this space seems to just be completely engrossed in consuming these huge burgers. And yeah, that's the kind of space. It almost happens in slow motion as you're looking at them, as you're watching just the crumbs fly as people are just gorging themselves. Behind the counter up ahead, you can see kind of a very large, wide orc man who is taking the orders. And as you're kind of right, the second to next to go into line, you hear the person in front of you says, I'll take 3 burgers and 2 double burgers and 2 triple burgers. And the orc on the counter goes, Eddie, we got a 322. And you hear from the back just kind of a, and thank you.
Anadoltia, wait, actually, Anadoltia wouldn't be really, like, once she gets inside the building, she probably, like, are the tables, like, big enough for Anadoltia to kind of, like, sneak under?
You hear the person in front of you says, yeah, absolutely.
Alright, well, she's gonna try to find, like, one of the, like, most, like, rooms she can fit under and attempt to make a disguise of something that would be akin to the cult of bureaucracy, the Green Sun.
Okay. The Green Sun's kind of uniform is actually, well, very uniform. They just wear these kind of black robes. So it's a little bit difficult with a disguise kit to make just a black robe on the fly. It'd be a little bit outside of the range of it. If you're trying to, like, alter yourself a bit, so if you want to do that, you'd have to have some way to make that specific piece of clothing. I don't know if that's something that's in your kit.
Let's see, I'm not sure what's all in the kit, but would it be possible to maybe, well, let me check my stuff right quick. Well, I mean, I would say, like, someone part of, like, the direct, like, someone like someone who works for him, like, as a assistant or something.
Okay, yeah. So you want to make yourself look as close to someone sort of in the professional sector as possible. That's a little bit more reasonable. Go ahead and roll me a check with your disguise kit. And at this point, Anadoltia, you kind of have broken off out of line. Alright, yeah, so you kind of, like, put together a little bit of an outfit for yourself. You have sort of a pair of spectacles. You got yourself a nice... you got yourself a nice kind of scroll that you've written up very quickly to kind of look like an official document that you're carrying. Yeah, you've made yourself look a little bit more reasonable.
All right.
And so Anadoltia's off, kind of doing that. In that case, since Anadoltia hopped off and was setting that up, the next two kind of arrive in line would be you, Elysia.
Hello there, sir. And I will once again just flash my notepad as quick as I can. I am Joanna Hicks with the health code. I'm here just to give a quick rundown of the place. Surprise inspection on all those things. I shan't be in your way at all. You seem quite busy, I see.
Yeah, we're busy. I was not notified about an inspection today.
That's why there's surprise inspections, to see how you run when it's all nitty-gritty.
Go ahead and make me a deception check. Nice roll.
Nice.
Alright. Kind of seems to be... He just kind of looks down for a minute. He goes, hold on one second, I'm just gonna check one thing. We'll be right back. What did you say your name was, ma'am?
Joanna Hicks. Oh, and this is an associate of mine, Holly, with that adventuring guild. I'm always a bit, sketchy about going out alone, so, they'll be accompanying me.
Don't forget, I'm not back.
Yes.
No, I just kind of look back and somewhere up. It doesn't matter for now.
Okay, I'm just gonna check on something. And he just kind of goes out back. You just hear him go, Eddie! Eddie! You just hear and that's the only sound you hear, and he kind of walks back. All right, feel free to proceed with your inspection in whatever capacity that may be. Let me know if you need any assistance with anything or have any questions. Okay?
Will do.
Very good. Meanwhile, Holly, have you just been kind of hanging out with Elysia at this point? Just you do have some money.
I do have some money, but I'll use that later. I'm gonna prestidigitation a little badge for Elysia.
Okay.
That has her name on it and everything.
All right, yeah, you do that. I like that. I also like that this happens like after Elysia has already kind of succeeded, and you're like, well, now it was. And give me the fake name one more time. I'm sorry, I'm having trouble with it.
Joanna Hicks.
Oh, Hicks. Joanna Hicks. So, yeah, you make a little. You prestidigitate a little Joanna Hicks ID badge, which Joanna kind of, I imagine, places right around the chest and stick it on. And you look even more official now, Elysia.
Oh, there you are, Holly. Thank you very much. Man, I always do forget my badge, don't I? Where would I be without you?
And at this point, you all see kind of Anadoltia emerging from beneath the table, where Anadoltia has come out now, also looking kind of official. I imagine you've also crafted a kind of an idea badge of your own at this point.
Yes, in my case, it'll be more of a fire code.
Yes. So you have a little bit more of a fire department theming for yours, but other than that, also looking very official. But while this has been happening, we had Sword moving around out back and investigating kind of the back area. As you're kind of setting up, there is a big sort of, as you're moving around back, Southtown is fairly dense, so there's not a ton of room in the back of it, but at the back you can see a simple door leading into whatever the back room is. You can see a big dumpster that's kind of like a little bit overflowing with trash bags. What do you want to do?
I guess I'm gonna go dumpster diving.
Fair enough. Go ahead and make me an investigation check. 14. All right. So you begin kind of digging through the dumpster. You take out, for starters, just kind of the first bag that you're able to pull out. And as you grab it, it rattles a bit. And you kind of look into, you open it up and look into it. And what you find within is the bag is entirely filled with bones. And the bones are perfectly stripped clean. Go ahead and make me a nature check. You have no idea what kind of bones there are. There's just tons of bones in this bag. And as you're going through a lot of the dumpster, most of the bags appear to be filled in a very similar nature.
In that case, since I can't figure out what the bones are, I am going to try to peek through the door and see what's going on in the kitchen.
All right. Yeah, you open the door. It kind of, it jiggles a little bit, like it's a little bit rusty and it's hard to open, but it doesn't appear to be locked. As you open and kind of look into the space, what you're looking at actually appears to be a storage room. You do not see any people in it at the moment. It's just like a storage room. You can see various supplies, buns and stuff like that just being kept. Another door leads into what you assume is the kitchen. You can hear the sounds of people kind of like talking and the sound of a grill sizzling coming from within. Do you want to like move in further?
Yes, I will, and inspecting the things along the way in the storage room just to see what's in there.
All right, make me another investigation check. 11. All right, so There's not a ton of interest in here. The one thing that you do pick up that is stands out a little bit is a kind of a trapdoor leading downwards. That trapdoor has a heavy padlock on it.
All right, I guess I'll continue on and peeking into the kitchen.
All right, just kind of go ahead and make me a stealth check as well. Do you have heavy armor?
Yes.
Okay. As you kind of peek into the kitchen, like I said, you hear the sound of the grill sort of sizzling, and you see a figure sort of leaning over the grill. They are definitely odd looking, and as they are kind of hunched over, their head is very rounded on the top. Their skin is sort of a matte gray color, and as you enter into the room, they kind of turn around and turn to face you. Their mouth is very wide, and just kind of this huge long tongue just kind of lolls out of it, and it's just kind of like dangling limply as they look at you. They have sharp teeth and very hollow-looking eyes. This appears to be some sort of undead creature that looks at you and just goes, and they start kind of walking towards you. What do you do? Sword?
I'm out of ideas.
Well, they're moving at you. How do you respond to that? Are you just gonna stand there?
I'll just try to decept them with the health inspector thing.
Okay. Well, you kind of lean on the the health inspector thing, and as they look at you, they are just kind of like, and they just kind of start like angrily pointing and like kind of shoving you a little bit and trying to get you to walk out the back door. They don't seem to be like attacking you. They're just angrily trying to get you to leave.
All right. In that case, as I'm heading out, I won't try to engage them. I'll try to run back around front and meet up with the others.
Okay.
But I will investigate and see what they got on the grill.
Yeah, while you're in the space, you can just see big lumps of this kind of grayish meat on the grill. It looks kind of like, it looks like beef, but if it's beef, it's been there for a while. Is the sort of vibe that you get from it, but it's just piled. It's just like piled up.
All right.
So you circle back around where we return to the inside of the restaurant. The three of you are kind of there, just in this space now, planning. After you've kind of done this whole ruse and established yourself as health inspectors, Sword kind of moves around in. So I'll say that you're all in the space in the kind of the core restaurant at the moment. What do you all want to do?
I will try to approach the, I guess this is like, let them know that I'm with the fire code from the Green Sun department.
The person kind of looks down at you. Is this a related check? This doesn't seem... they mentioned the health department. I wasn't told anything about fire code inspection as well from the Green Sun.
Oh. Well, you probably could blame that on Barno. He's always a bit forgetful when trying to establish our times with the time frames of our respected inspections.
Well, you'll have to wait your turn. We're not going to. We're running a business here. We're not going to kind of accept 2 inspections at once. You can do 1 at a time.
That's fine. I'll just make my observations through the main lobby here and see if everything's up to code.
Okay. Yeah, you're always can do whatever you need to do in the lobby. And as you're kind of like... as you all are kind of standing in this space, there is one customer that you're noticing here that is not is not absolutely gorging themselves. There's pretty much only one in that particular regard, and that individual is just kind of sitting. They have what looks like a very large burger in front of them, and they are at the moment kind of hooded, and they're just staring at it very intently. You watch as their heads kind of moving around it, and they're just like looking at it from all angles. Other than that, you're just surrounded by people chowing down. What's everyone doing?
Anadoltia will go up to the man because he seems like he would have been a member of the Green Sun.
Yeah, they are wearing kind of like the same sort of black robe, and you walk up to this individual. As you do so, you see that they are definitely not a member of the Green Sun, because normally the Green Sun cultists, they're kind of underneath the hood, it's cloaked by shadow, and this individual is not cloaked in shadow at all. What you see is just a skeleton within the cloak, and that skeleton is just kind of looking at the burger.
I'll probably like simply get his attention.
Oh, hello there.
Yes, greetings. May I take the seat across from you?
By all means.
And so yeah, Anadoltia will take a seat and just like look at him and says, she kind of like looks at the others like just make sure the way she'll kind of whisper under her breath says, so what do you think of this place at the moment?
It seems a bit suspicious, is my thought. These burgers, well, the meat in them, it's undead.
Oh, it is?
Absolutely, I'm 100% certain.
So I guess that was why Bartholomew sent us out here then. And then she probably looks at the skeleton and says, like, as low as she can, but at a point where he can hear her, like, me and the health inspectors there are with Bartholomew's adventures. We're trying to see if there was anything wrong about this place.
You're Bartholomew's crew!
Not so loud.
You're Bartholomew's crew! Ha, that's absolutely delightful. A friend of Bartholomew's is a friend of mine. Allow me a brief moment to introduce myself. My name is Philip Q. Tanglebones. Oh, I see it's Sword Coheir! How wonderful! Wonderful! I'm a bit of an expert food critic, if I may say so myself, and I think that something smells fishy about this.
Can you taste
Both of those statements do
tongue?
not make sense. You don't have a tongue or nose.
He kind of looks a little bit downtrodden, and he says, I'm aware of both of those facts, Sword. Kind of looks down dejectedly.
However, since you said this is undead, maybe you can answer this question. Maybe I can confirm it for you. I found a bunch of these bones in the back dumpster, and a lot of the meat on the grill was grayish.
Yes, I imagine that gray meat, that would likely be what an undead meat was looking like. But let me see those bones. And he kind of takes the bones. You have a couple of them that you brought in. Takes a long time staring at them. I'm not certain, but they do appear to be cow bones, which is correct in line with the food that they're claiming to be selling. Although, cow bones, I mean, regardless, it's absolutely absurd that they should be stripped so clean.
I mean, is it possible for it to be undead cows?
Undead cows could technically exist, although I've never seen one, and I've seen quite a few undead in my day. I'll tell you that.
What is the strangest type you've seen?
The strangest type of undead that I've seen, well, I've actually seen an undead bird mixed with an undead raccoon. It was a raccoon with wings. It had a very tiny bird head. That was a strange creature.
Just for fun, I minor illusion nose onto him.
He can't really tell because he can't see where his nose is, but he's now just kind of moving around, and there's a dumb cartoonish nose on him. And as he's kind of like leaning in and looking at the burger very closely, it kind of clips through the burger, which looks in particularly silly. Also, you hear the woman that was behind you in line, Holly, who is up at the counter after you. The person behind the counter, the one directing the restaurant, goes, If you don't have enough to pay, there's nothing I can do for you. Move aside. And that woman just kind of like gets down on both knees and just kind of starts crying as she's been denied the burgers that it seemed that she so craved for lack of funds.
Holly is not phased at all.
Yeah, I suspected that was the case. Jingleboom goes, so, this is undead meat, and by those bones, like I said, it's cow meat, regardless. It's unhealthy to eat undead meat if one is not undead, and if one is undead, then undead meat does not taste in particularly good.
Could these people be suffering undead cow disease?
Undead cow disease. That seems a great name for it. I've never thought of such a thing. But undead cow disease. A strange disease that makes them inclined to eat more and more of this terrible, terrible slop. Something has to be done. Do you think you are the ones to do it? I assume that's why Bartholomew has sent you here.
Oh, first we need to confirm whether or not if it's an undead cow or just cow bones and then turned undead meat and then served. But for some of the people in the lines have said that they really like the meat, so something would be a bit off by your logic.
Perhaps. He responds. So, what do you all want to do?
What does it smell like in here with all of the undead meat being cooked and served around and about?
It smells mostly just kind of like grease. There's just a heavy air. It's like grease and sweat. It's not a pleasant kind of scent. You're also getting some like very subtle hints of kind of like a copper irony scent that reminds you of blood.
They don't exactly smell terribly appetizing, do they?
I got an idea though. I might have to bring her out for a moment. And then Anadoltia looks up to the what was it, Philip? And then her friend says, can you make sure no one sees I'm under the table right quick? I need to bring a certain friend out, and then she'll probably go under the table and summon her one of her older familiars, the candy cane cat, the cotton kitty.
All right, you summon the cotton candy cat. Huh?
Yeah.
It appears underneath the table.
Yeah, Sir Fluffles. And then she'll probably take a seat back up and says, and looks down. Sir Fluffles says, "Okay, Sir Fluffles, if you can, try to get into the back there and tell me all you can see without being discovered."
All right, yeah. I'm going to give it to you. Mr. Fluffles kind of moves into the back, and you see very much what I described previously to Sword. The most noticeable feature being that of kind of the locked trapdoor. Other than that, it seems like a pretty regular restaurant. Big piles of meat. There is the kind of chef who was called Eddie before that's there cooking this odd undead chef. And then you see, stock supplies.
Is there no door for a freezer area?
There does not appear to be a freezer area now.
Okay, then I'll probably get him to come back.
Okay. You do that.
Okay, and then I look to the others and says, okay, so from what I can tell from the back there's it seems like a little trap door that leads down and it's next to the chef of the area. So unless we could get the chef away from there, it might not be possible to actually.
No, it's in the back. It's in the back room. It's behind. It's a room behind where the chef is.
I remember in the storage room, and the door wasn't locked, so it should be pretty easy to just waltz right in there if we go around back.
But you have to make sure no one's someone gets the attention of the chef back there, correct?
It occurs to me, I actually don't know anything about the health code. Is it against the health code to be feeding undead to people?
Very much so.
I would say that it is in fact against the health code, although I do not know if it is specifically specified. I would also say that it's just against the moral right.
Wait. I'll probably turn to Sword in the room with us.
Yes, I came back around through the front.
Okay, I'll probably ask him like if the meat was actually like stacked around the grill, or if it's just like in random places or something.
I only saw meat on the grill. I didn't even see where they had
you
cleaned
didn't
it off
actually
the bone.
see it. You didn't see any meat other than the big giant pile of meat that was being cooked on the grill.
I have no idea where they're actually butchering the meat.
I would then I'll probably look around the actual rooms as well. The entire place is a mess and no one's cleaning, so that would be a health code violation.
I think this place is way more than a health code violation, Philip Jangleton says. I mean, certainly it's not sanitary, but there's the bigger problem of them selling food that's harmful to humans and living creatures.
Though I'd probably say that there's a few fire code violations around, because if there's
just a second, Anadoltia. What were you about to say, Holly?
We do have our health inspector facade going on, and I could put you in my backpack, by the way, Anadoltia.
All right, I mean, Anadoltia thinks that does sound a good idea. Just make sure that I'm not injured in any way. Or else I will make you pay, Holly.
No problem.
At that point, I'll probably look to Philip and says, might want to remain out here because I might plan to use something that may be harmful to you.
I am okay. I'll wait right here.
Thank you. We'll let you know what we find out.
Absolutely, please do.
What are you planning on using that could be so harmful?
Chill touch.
But isn't that
I would prefer not to get chill touched. If I had the choice of being chill touched or not chill touched, I would pick to remain not chill touched. That's my Philip Q. Janglebones way of living. So you guys are going to go around back.
Shall we go, Officer Hicks?
What would happen if you chill touched some of the meat, just like had the chill touch do a little poke of it?
Yeah, that's a good idea. I probably looked at Philip and says, may I...
Take this burger! Go ahead.
I want to take it, but I'd probably
I'm not going to eat it. I promise you that. I do not care what happens to it. I just wanted to investigate it. Go ahead and make a chill touch attack. What is chill touch? Like, chill touch has a thing against undead, does it?
Yeah, especially, there he goes.
Alright.
Yeah, basically, if it's undead, it has disadvantage on attack rolls against caster, so...
The meat, becomes very shriveled and dried out, and it has disadvantage on its next attack against you.
Yeah, okay. So at least it confirms it's undead, so... Okay, let's get going. I dug into the
you can tell by looking at the meat the way it is, like, if it was going to attack, it would not be as effective at it. Alright, so you guys are going to walk around back, you're going to go in the front for the health inspector ruse.
It'd be a shame not to put this badge to some use. Come on, guys.
Alright.
Yeah, my craftsmanship, gosh.
I was going to say, prestidigitation lasts for 1 minute, so you've already...
and before they actually head back there, I temporarily unsummon Sir Fluffles.
Alright, sure. I imagine you're just re-upping it. I'm just joking with you, Holly.
He's just making a bunch of badges the whole time.
It takes just a lot of concentration for you to keep making the badges over and over again. But you do so. You kind of proceed backwards with your retinue, and the orc kind of looks at you. I thought just you two. Oh, you said adventurers. Okay. Proceed if you have questions again. You walk past, relatively unbothered, and you are able to kind of move into the back room. As you kind of move into the space, the kind of ghoulish-looking man just looks over at you, nods, and you are free to look about the places you choose. What do you all do? Elysia kind of taking the vanguard here as the health inspector.
Elysia will kind of do the classic point. Yes, check those out. I'll have a word with this fine gentleman over here. and go to pepper some healthy questions at the cook.
Okay, yeah, you walk over to the cook.
So, my good fellow, you seem to be quite knowledgeable of this. I was wondering about how you might be preparing your meats here. Do you mind giving me an example right quick?
You see he just kind of takes his big spatula, reaches onto the bottom of the pile, the part of the huge tower of meat on the grill that's on the oven, kind of scoops some of it off, puts it in his hand, and throws it in between a bun, and then just goes and hands it to you.
Does he have gloves on?
He does not have gloves on. And while you're kind of distracting this guy, I assume other people are just kind of investigating around the space. Holly, what did you want to do?
I'm gonna try and mess with that lock a little bit.
Yeah, alright, so you kind of walk over there. Go ahead and make a sleight of hand check or a thieves' tools check, your choice. A 12? Is your bonus to sleight of hand only a 12? Only a 1?
Yeah.
Wait, really? You only have a +1 to Dex?
Yeah.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, you're kind of like fiddling around with it. The lock.
How did I use that 14?
It seems like you're very close, but it's not quite like connecting. You don't like break the lock or anything.
My good old plan B of smashing it.
I probably kind of shifted the bag a little bit around Holly and like kind of like let my hand like point to the lock for myself.
What are you? So are you trying to also just pick it?
Yeah, I'm trying to let Holly know, like kind of lean the bag down with him over it or her over, and then let me try to pick it using sleight of hand.
I guess I sit down.
Do you have? Yeah, sure. Go ahead and make me a sleight of hand check. Yeah, you kind of expertly. As it turns out, Anadoltia has the sleight of hand chops as you kind of pick around in the lock, and it kind of clatters and lands onto the ground.
And then my hand like retracts back into the bag.
All right. So yeah, this is now open to you if you so wish to utilize that.
Not right now.
All right. What is everyone else doing?
Elysia prestos a notepad and a pen in her hand, writes the, it will be 1 point off for no use of gloves. The meat seems to be sitting out a bit unrefrigerated. Oh, yes, your meat quality. How does the shipment process work as I kind of toss up my notepad and pen and unpresto them as they kind of pop away?
He just kind of goes, It's the response.
I see. And how often do new shipments come? Really? I don't think I've heard that one before. I haven't been in the game quite some time, sir.
He looks confused at you.
So, is this the same meat you use on all of the products, or do you use different meats for the various items?
He just kind of nods.
And what about the potatoes? I've heard your potatoes are existent.
Kind of goes and starts walking over towards the storage closet. And he gestures for you to follow.
I do so.
As he kind of walks into the storage room, he sees everyone else there, kind of huddled around. This is probably around the same time the lock's being picked, and he looks over at the three of you over in the corner, and watches Anadoltia as the lock clicks, and he goes, and at that sound, you hear the orc come kind of running back, and he goes, "I'm gonna need you all to stop what you're doing immediately. You have no right to go into our personal storage. That is our personal. That's our living quarters. That's where we live. That is not part of the restaurant, so I'm going to need you to stop what you're doing immediately. Understand? I'll have to contact the town guard and see your papers. See your papers re-inspected otherwise.
Can it scroll ahead, like be something like listen to health inspector code and kind of set it out?
It seems like at this point that you're a little bit past him accepting you as health inspectors. It looks like they're both, regardless of who you are, not okay with you going down there.
I'll have to make a note of this. I'll re-presto and refuses to allow this to be searched. Even if it is your living quarters, we should be able to stick a head in to confirm.
That's absolutely not part of the health inspector's code. Let me see your identification again, please.
Oh yes, it's right here. Holly, where's my badge? I've told you to stop taking my shinies.
I'm gonna need to ask you all to leave. I'll be speaking with the town guard. The undead creature.
Is it possible for me to use the frightening for fake presence at this moment?
Yeah, go ahead. Who are you using that on?
Let's see. It says each creature in a 10-foot cube. So.
All right, so you get everybody in the room.
Yeah.
So
pretty much.
Do you get to pick, or is it each creature, or is it each creature of your choice?
It just says each creature.
All right, so everyone make me a wisdom saving throw, please.
Yeah, my thing is 14, so.
Oh, you've gone and done it now. She's mad. You won't like her when she's mad.
You watch as the orc just kind of looks at you. Yeah, I'm gonna be afraid of that little thing. But the kind of odd creature, the odd undead creature, just and just starts kind of running backwards into the kitchen.
We're going in here or not, and then I cast web.
Where are you casting web?
Right on Garrick.
Okay. That's also, I think everyone is going to be in that web, so he's going to make a strength save, which he definitely...
Oh my gosh!
He's in work.
Dang it.
And I think roll for initiative, y'all.
Every time.
My god, that's the lowest initiative I've done in a while.
Alright. We're just going to use his initiative for everyone. That's fine. Alright, cool. So, the first to act in this instance is you, Holly. You cast this huge web in the area, kind of filling in the space, making it difficult terrain. What do you do after that?
I'm gonna cast Ray of Frost just to start it out.
Alright. You fire your Ray of Frost, it absolutely makes contact. Despite his kind of leather apron that he's wearing, it strikes him. Go ahead and roll damage on that. 6 points of cold damage. Hits him pretty hard. I knew you weren't health inspectors. I wasn't entirely sure, but I thought at least. That's going to bring us then to... Joanna Hicks. What do you want to do?
Let's see here. What would Joanna Hicks do in this situation? Elysia pauses for a second, thinking, what would Elysia Hicks, food inspector extraordinaire, do? As she kind of, bonus action, pulls out a hand and, Monty! Pulls out the Viper.
Very good. You take out your Viper, which coils around your arm for your spellcasting focus. What else you want to do?
Sir, we are health inspectors. I'm going to have to ask you to chill out and stay there. This is a matter of public health. Every time. Why am I like this?
Everyone, not just you. It's going to make a Constitution saving throw. which he fails and takes 6 points of cold damage. His body is kind of freezing over at this point. He's in the difficult terrain. He's slow, and he's got all kinds of stuff going on. What else on your turn?
I will scoot a little bit away from him.
Okay. Yeah, he's just kind of there. He's just sort of there standing. And that's going to bring us to... the next in initiative would have been actually him, who he's going to... he's just going to actually call out, Larry! Larry! Problem! And you hear kind of a rumbling from down... you kind of hear a rumbling from down beneath. And that is going to bring us... he tries to move, like, he takes a couple steps forward, but between, like, the difficult terrain of the web and the slow, he only can get, like, a couple of feet towards it. He's just moving closer. And the other creature is no longer feared, and at the end of his turn, is just standing in the kitchen afraid of Anadoltia, but feared no longer. Which is going to bring us then to... that's going to bring us to... Anadoltia, what do you want to do?
Well, first I'd like to say it's frightened to the end of my next turn.
Okay, so yeah, so at the end of this turn for you, he stops being frightened. So technically, he's still frightened. What do you want to do?
Let's see. We heard something from down below in that little
Yeah, something's
room.
shifting down beneath you.
Okay, well, I'm still in the bag with I'm still in Holly's bag as far as I know of. So I'm probably gonna like jump out first as a move action. And
okay. You do that.
And then let's see, is Eddie within the sight for me at the moment?
He's in the kitchen. You can no longer see him as you're in the storage room. Garrick is standing in kind of the storage room with you, and he's frozen and webbed up and kind of having trouble moving.
In that case, I'll probably let's use Toll the Dead.
Alright, he's going to make a wisdom saving throw, which he succeeds, unfortunately. Anything else on your turn, Anadoltia?
I guess for the bonus action, I can use Hex on, well actually I'm gonna, like, just, I'm probably just gonna, like, probably get back to a corner from the little door and, like, just get ready for a, if possible to dodge if he turns to me.
Okay, you ready yourself, you're ready yourself now, so you're not gonna Hex. In that case, that brings us to Sword. What do you wish to do, Sword?
Everyone's favorite, Spirit Guardians.
Alright, you summon your Spirit Guardians in the space. Are you just going to fill the room that you're in with them? Is that your plan?
That's the idea.
Alright, yeah, the room's large enough that you can just get everything that's in the space. And everything in that space is going to make a wisdom saving throw, I believe, yes? Except for the people that you don't choose, which I assume is your allies. So
which
he takes
14.
At the start of his turn, because it doesn't happen when it casts, it happened at the start of his turn, but at the start of his turn he'll take all of that radiant damage, which is quite a bit. As we move back to the top of the initiative, that's going to be you once more, Holly. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna add, like this. I'm gonna add, I don't know, why did I forget that phrase? I'm just gonna cast Grease on Garrick, like right. On top of him.
This poor dude, he's having so much trouble moving. Alright, so you're going to Grease. He's going to make a dexterity saving throw. And he succeeds. He manages to hold his footing. He's kind of helped by the web a little bit, actually. Funny enough. As he's kind of like holding on to it and keeping himself in place. Anything else on your turn?
I'm gonna move back.
You're backed into the corner right next to Anadoltia. That's going to then bring us to Elysia. What do you want to do? I'm sorry, Johanna Hicks, a food inspector.
Well, as a food inspector, I know all of the terrible, terrible incidences that can come from unmanaged grease and their unfortunate relation to webs. So I will kind of just lean up as much as I can, and I will shoot off a firebolt at the edge of the grease outside of the webs to light up that grease.
Alright, go ahead and make me, or you just do that. You can't really miss the grease. The grease alights. The webs themselves also alight. that's gonna pretty much get like everyone in the room. Are you just so you know, like the grease is everywhere, as is the web, because the room is smaller than the web.
That is my bad. I assumed that the grease was flowing out towards the kitchen.
It is as well, but the web is completely filling the space.
Instead of that, can I just refreeze him again?
Yeah, you can do that. Go ahead and make me that attack roll. Or he's going to make a Constitution save. Certainly. Which he succeeds. He's hanging on to life, and then falls to the Spirit Guardians as soon as it gets to his turn. On faux turn, you watch as Eddie kind of moves into the room, but it's kind of hanging back. And then from underneath where you are, Holly and Anadoltia, you hear kind of a slamming sound coming from underneath the trapdoor. And you see what looks like some creature that's a little bit too big to fit through the trapdoor, trying to like poke its head up through it. And then there's an explosion as the floor underneath you kind of erupts, and a strange skeletal-looking figure. The head still has kind of skin on it, but it's pulled very taut over a tight skeleton as what must be Big Larry emerges, just kind of sticking out of the bottom of it. He kind of walks out up to his waist. You can see his kind of ribs are open, and within his ribs, you can see, as he moves up, he has like what looks like a dead cow, like inside of his rib cage, which just kind of dissipates and dissolves into nothing, and kind of falls out onto the ground as he kind of moves into the space. Which then stands and rises as a zombie. And he is going to make 2 attacks. And there's also now a zombie cow in this area. Big Larry is going to claw at... I think he's going to send a claw at Elysia and a claw at Holly in the corner. First one Elysia, second one Holly. I assume an 11 hits neither of you?
Oh, that's close. That is too close.
I actually have to cast shield on that one.
Okay, fair enough. You throw up a shield as he kind of emerges.
Wouldn't they take Spirit Guardian damage too?
As he enters it for the first time, that is fair. He will go ahead and make me a Wisdom saving throw, which he fails, and is going to go ahead and re-roll me that Spirit Guardian damage. And he takes 13 points of that. Great. And that's going to be all for faux turn. That's going to then bring us to... Anadoltia. What do you want to do? This thing is bearing down directly above you.
Okay, so first and foremost, I'm gonna bring up some defense for me and cast Armor of Agathis.
Great.
At level 2, so I have 10 extra, or 10 temporary hit points that
Awesome.
can do damage, so...
You have your Armor of Agathis, an icy sheer appears over you. Anything else?
Okay, and after that, well, I can't really damage anything, because that's actual action, so...
Alright, in that case, I think that's...
Wait, actually, I'm going to tempt, you said he busts up through the floor, right?
Yep.
So, would that mean I'm probably, like, in the room below?
No, you're in the room still. He didn't, like, knock you down onto the ground underneath him. He's just kind of made a big hole for himself to appear in.
Okay, then, does he make up the entirety of the hole, or can I, like, slip, like, by him into the downstairs area?
Yeah, you can duck down. You'll take some falling damage. You're not sure how far down it is, but you can try and do that if you want.
Yeah, I think I'll try to do that.
Alright. Yeah, you duck down. As you fall, it's not too much. You're only going to take 2 points of bludgeoning damage as you crash onto the ground below. It looks like he's standing on stairs of what looks like a very big basement. In the corner, you can see, just through some very dim red kind of wall torches, just a big, massive pile of cows in the corner.
They're not undead yet, are they?
Nope, they're living cows.
Okay, that's good.
In that case, that is now going to bring us to sword. What do you want to do?
Since I haven't really incurred any damage, I'm going to go ahead and summon Spiritual Weapon.
Alright, your spiritual weapon appears in the space, the great sword of sword. What else? I assume it's going to make an attack. 12 misses, unfortunately. I assume you're attacking the big guy?
Yeah, and then as my regular action, I will take a shot at him with the Hornet's Nest.
Go for it. That 5, unfortunately, also misses. That is all for you?
That's all I can do.
Holly.
I'm just gonna bring up mage armor.
Alright, you shield yourself magically with the mage armor, making your armor class 14. Anything else on your turn?
I can't take a bonus action, huh? Oh, that isn't a spell. Okay. No, I'm good, thanks.
Elysia.
Elysia will look at the big guy, look around, and decide to not die just yet, and spend her action casting Mirror Image on herself.
Alright. You watch as from the health inspector, Joanna Hicks, mirror images appear. 3. Anything else on your turn?
I would like to make the quipping remark of, well, now this is a job for Joanna Hicks again!
Big Larry kind of looks down at you and just looks at you and just goes, meat! I need everyone to make me a Constitution saving throw as he's going to use his Soul Rend. Such a brutal ability name. Oh dear. Oh,
I am going to go ahead and use a favored by the gods to make that. Oh fuck, 13.
Yeah, everyone fails.
Will a 14 not fail?
You can make a choice if you want to use a 14. Let me know.
I like doing things without knowing if they'll succeed, but no, thanks, I'm good.
Okay. Oh my god! The minimum possible damage! You all take 4 points of necrotic damage. That could have been very bad.
Oh my god!
But,
Oh jeez.
is Soul Rend like melee, or is it just a spell?
This is an ability that he's using, and it's within 20 feet of him, so you are affected by it.
Okay, I'll let you melee.
Are you looking for a counterspell? Yeah, it's not a spell, it's an ability. And that is going to be all for his turn, and it is now your turn, Anadoltia. Oh.
Yeah, that was bad, but yeah. Okay, but
Oh, by the way, you forgot.
Oh, you're right. I need you to make a concentration check on that, by the way. And he takes that 18 from taking that damage. Yep, you're good. Anadoltia, what's it going to be?
Okay, so I'm down with the cows and everything, and he's there, so is it he's undead, so that won't work, but alright, I think first and foremost I'm gonna cast resistance upon myself.
Very good.
It's an action, okay. And then on top of that I will attempt to actually no, I might as well skip hex for now. Just recast Armor of Axis on myself because that actually took a lot. So. All
right. You re-up your Armor of Agathis, refreshing yourself to 10 hit points. Anything else? Well, actually, both of those are actions.
Yeah. I just noticed it. So yeah, forget about that. I will attempt to. Well, since all the cows down here are alive, I'm going to at least attempt to hide among them using the halfling.
Alright, you're going to provoke an opportunity attack moving away from the creature. Is that okay?
No, yeah.
Alright, he's going to make a swing at you. 18.
That hits.
Alright, so you're going to take 21 points of damage. 5 of it... Or did you end up casting Armor of Agathis or not?
Yeah, Armor of Agathis.
Alright, so 10 of it explodes back in his face with cold damage as you strike, but you still take a hearty 21 points of damage total, and you run over and kind of hide among the cows. You're now safe among them for now.
So I took 11 damage.
Yep, total 11 damage. And I assume that's all for your turn to action move. That's going to bring us then, I think, to Sword. What do you want to do?
So yeah, I'm going to just I'm hiding among the cows.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Now, so.
Sword.
Quick question. I'm assuming necrotic damage wouldn't affect undead.
You do not know. I mean, I'll say that you know well enough that, like, undead do not necessarily have any resistances against necrotic damage. Some do, some don't.
Okay, in that case, I'm just going to resort to spiritual weapon and hornet's nest again.
Okay. Go ahead and make me those attack rolls. Unfortunately, both of those are again going to Spirit Guardians are wrecking him, but the Spiritual Weapon Hornet's Nest, not yet. I assume that's all. In that case, that's going to bring us to the top of the initiative. Holly, what's it going to be?
I'm gonna cast Melf's Minute Meteors.
Oh, radical. A pile of minute meteors appear up and around you. I assume you're going to throw one as well?
I'm gonna throw 2 as a bonus action.
Oh, you can do 2? Okay, cool. So he's going to make 2 dexterity saving throws, right? So he fails 1 and succeeds 1. So he's going to take a total of, we'll just use the same damage twice. He's going to take a total of 11 and 16 points of fire damage. As 2 of these tiny meteors around your head, you toss them, they explode into his strange skeletal body. He kind of lets out a roar in response. I assume you're staying where you are so you don't get opportunity attacked?
Yeah.
Elysia.
I will look at the big guy, look at Sword, as all 4 Joannas take turns looking back and forth, and I will twin it to win it as I attempt to reduce Big Larry and enlarge Sword.
Oh, nice. So, Sword, you are, of course, enlarged. Your head kind of reaches up and bumps into the ceiling a little bit as you grow to the large size. He's going to make what saving throw against Reduce?
Constitution.
All
DC
right.
15.
Pretty good at that. Yeah, he is still as big as he
Oh
is.
no, that's a 14 now.
Was it DC 15?
DC 15.
In that case, he fails, and you watch as Big Larry becomes just Larry, as he has been shrunk down a bit. Anything else on your turn, Elysia?
That will be it. I would rather keep all 4 Joannas together to be the ultimate food inspector.
Alright, on the start of his turn, roll me that Spirit Guardian's damage. And he's going to run up, and actually the Spirit Guardians are really getting to him. So he now, that he's shrunk down, can walk up the stairs, and he's kind of like still having a little bit of trouble. He was very big before, he's still having trouble getting through this trapdoor, but he's a little bit more able to. The Spirit Guardians seem to be doing a lot of work on him, though, as he's starting to get beat up, and for that reason, he looks towards you, Sword, and is going to make 2 attacks against you. Does a 15 hit?
15 doesn't, the 23
I
does.
assume does. So that's 20 points of damage. I need you to make me another concentration check. The Spirit Guardians fade away, and you take 20 points of damage. And at the end of his turn, he's going to roll the recharge, but that is all for his turn. He does not recharge. That is going to bring us to Anadoltia. What do you want to do?
Okay, so Anadoltia will attempt to move away from the cows now. It's going up, and as long as Big Larry's in sight, she's going to cast Toll the Dead.
All right, he's going to make a Wisdom saving throw, which he succeeds, unfortunately. Anything else on your turn?
Unfortunately, no, because I can't do anything
right.
else.
Sword, what do you wish to do? You've just taken a pretty hefty hit from Big Larry.
I will cast Mass Healing. Can I use Mass Healing Word and then throw out my spiritual weapon too? Since it's already up?
No, you cannot do those 2 things at the same. You could do Mass Healing Word and also make an attack with the Hornet's Nest.
Okay, I think I'll resort to that then.
Okay, so you call upon the Mass Healing Word. I believe you can get everyone but Anadoltia, as Anadoltia is now kind of deep below you in the basement, and you don't have visual on Anadoltia at the moment. But other than that, everyone heals for 5 points of healing as the healing word, and 22 hits. Finally, a strike with the Hornet's Nest. Nice. It's a lot.
Plus a D4.
Damage. Plus an additional. Oh, I forgot. You're enlarged, so an additional D4. I'll just roll that for you real quick. Plus an additional 1. That's the GM's curse. 11. 11 points of damage. As Big Larry is starting to look pretty beaten up. And also, I'm sorry, I should have rolled a D4 before for reduced damage as well. So you took 3 less damage before, Sword. That's my mistake. Anything else you want to move at all, Sword, or are you going to stay where you are?
Moving provokes opportunity, right?
That it would, yes.
I have a question.
I will stay where I am. I'm in my comfort zone.
Right. What is it, Anadoltia?
What about the zombie cow?
Zombie cow? Oh, it's just not attacking or doing anything. It's just like chilling in the space.
So essentially, it's still a cow.
Yeah, it's still a cow. It's just an undead one. Yeah, the zombie cow kind of is the noise that it makes as we move now to Holly's turn.
I'm gonna throw 2 more meteors at a Big Larry.
Dex, bup. Which he fails and fails for another 16 points of fire damage. Kind of a chunk of bone comes flying off the rib cage, the kind of jail within it, seeming to start to get a little bit beaten up. And yeah, Big Larry's starting to look
to toss Mel's magic meteors, it's a bonus action. Can I still cast a cantrip?
You can do 2 as a bonus action?
Yeah.
That's radical. Yeah, you can still cast a cantrip. I assume that you're doing like an action, bonus action thing.
I'm gonna do minor illusion and make another one of myself.
That's outside of the range of minor illusion.
Aw, man. Okay, oh well. I'll just cast Frost.
Alright, fair enough. You could make a tiny version of yourself that you could hold in your hand or something, but not a full. That'd be more of a major image. 21 hits, roll damage. 6 points of cold damage. Strikes into Big Larry. Whoa! And Big Larry is starting to look pretty beat up. He's getting rough. That's going to bring us to Elysia.
How rough is Sword looking at this point?
I'm 27 out of 39.
Not too bad.
That is no good if we get that big boy coming at us again. So Elysia's or Joanna Hicks FI is of course going to collectively decide amongst themselves to scoot around the edge of this now smaller creature and kind of all lay their hands on this sword boy and heal him for that good old level 2 cure wounds for 10.
Alright, you heal for 10, Sword, as Elysia kind of walks up.
That did not add my charisma. That should be an extra 4 or 14.
14 points of healing, nice. Probably close to full. In that case, that's going to bring us to the foe turn, who is going to once more strike out. Does not recharge. He's going to take... or actually, nope, the Spirit Guardians are down. He's just going to strike out at you. He's going to swing once at you, Elysia, and once at you, Holly. Go ahead and roll me that. And Holly, you get critically missed. And that, I believe, redirects, right?
Let me double check. That's always a super pain to read through.
I'm pretty sure that it does.
Yep, 8 or higher.
Great. In that case, he hits one of your duplicates and it dissipates, but he does nothing for damage this round, and he fails to recharge. That's going to bring us to Anadoltia. What's it going to be?
Oh, seeing Total Dead keeps failing on me, I'm going to cast Shield Touch.
All right. Go ahead and make me an attack roll. 26 definitely hits for 4 points of necrotic damage. Meat! Big Larry is still hanging on. Anything else?
That'll be all. Just to note that he has disadvantage on attack rolls for, until next
yes,
start my next sword.
Yeah, I know. That's going to bring us to Sword. What do you want to do?
I'll take a swing at him with my spiritual weapon.
Yeah, swing away. 16 definitely hits. For 4 points of force damage. And you're going to swing with the Hornet's Nest? Roll that?
Yep.
Would you care to describe your killing blow on Big Larry?
I don't think I could describe it. That just sounds hilarious. Having a bunch of little hornets just like swarm around him.
Very well.
Sting him to death.
No one likes getting stung by bees, least of all Big Larry, as the spiritual weapon kind of like penetrates him down into the ground, kind of hits him in the back of the neck, like sticking him into the wood, and then the bees just swarm around his now much smaller, his regular-sized Larry head, and just sting away until... and eventually he stops moving. You watch as Eddie, standing in the door frame, just turns and starts making a run for it. And with that, you have dealt with the foes in front of you. Garrick is very dead. Garrick is extremely dead. But you've succeeded nonetheless. Philip Q. Janglebones kind of comes up to you. Ah, I see that you've dealt with the in particularly big Larry. Although he looks a little bit small for a devourer, that's still a terrifying undead you've all fought. Congratulations!
Yes, thank you. Though we did find out that it was making the undead cow meat.
I suspected that would be the case.
But we still have a bunch of live cows down here.
We'll deal with those later, or in the epilogue, as each of you have earned 200 Bartholomew bucks and gained a single point of experience. So, congratulations, adventurers.